not doing that.
Hi guys, I'm Izzy.
And I'm Gracey.
And you're watching today's episode of Generation Imagination. Another unscripted adventure with Izzy and Gracey as we discuss community service and its relationship with your school. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a few pre-written questions, like last episode, but less so that maybe it won't be as long. We'll see. Our school specifically, our school has service opportunities that it puts through, what's the word? Offers through the school. Yeah, offers through the school. But they're often limited to specific clubs that may be exclusive of students who do not earn GPAs of a certain point. Like I know the National Honor Society is common in high schools like ours, and that's usually you have to have above a 3.0 or a 2.
Something like that.
I think it's a 3.0 GPA. So sometimes kids that want to be involved in service don't have that high of a GPA. Do you think students function better when service is limited to a certain group?
What do you think?
I think sometimes, especially as high schoolers, we can kind of get lost in doing just our daily work. That
For
it's
sure.
hard. We don't usually think about doing service very often.
Yeah, I guess so. Not in our everyday lives.
Yeah, it's not a thing that you have to do. On your checklist, you could be I need to do my homework. I need to go to this sports practice. I need to go to this call-up meeting. I have this club after school. But you're never sitting here going, oh, I should go volunteer at the Humane Society.
Because it's not something that you just inherently have time for. It's something that you have to make an effort to make time for.
So I honestly think students function better when they have that service group that they can join, and then the service group can be okay, this is what you have. These are our opportunities, pick and choose from these. I honestly think students function better like that.
I think it's interesting to ask if they function better, because I'm thinking more so in how it would impact them, because I feel sure, we have so many clubs at our school, and most of them aren't exclusive. I think NHS is the only one that I can think of. We have a lot of other ones.
Tiger, the Ambassador Club.
Yeah.
That one I think you have to have
the
a 2.5.
Sierra Club, you can just
GPA.
participate.
Yeah,
or
students clubs.
in action,
Yeah, clubs like the Sierra Club or Future Black Leaders or even the Film Club. You don't have to have a certain GPA to participate in those kind of clubs.
Yeah. So basically, I just think that when we have those clubs like that are completely optional, or they're geared toward a certain like-minded group of students who have to make the time for it and are usually passionate about it, then it doesn't really open up opportunities for everyone, because chances are if that club or that opportunity didn't exist, that's the type of student that would go out and find one anyways. So I feel while whatever services or organizations that are being helped might be helped better because the kids are more passionate about it, when we have, I don't want to say the word forced, but if we have forced volunteer or service opportunities, then that's going to be way more impactful for the students participating rather than the organization.
You mentioned forced service opportunities. I don't know if the choice of word was intentional, but
It was.
this is kind of the thing that you just think of.
Yeah.
That is one thing about doing unscripted videos. You go with whatever you have in your
Which makes it slightly lower quality, but we're rolling with it.
it's fine. So along that same kind of vein, students in these exclusive clubs that you have to have, I'm talking specifically about NHS in our schools, National Honor Society. Usually you have a set service hour, a set number of service hours that you have to complete by the end of the year. At the junior high, it was 50. Do you think students function better when their service is required of them to participate in this kind of club? If you can be I participated in this National Honor Society, or I was a member, that looks really good on your college application, because colleges are ooh, this person is involved in their school, and they do fun things.
Yeah.
But, you have to make something of your time at NHS, so you have to do the service. Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, I think it's basically just going along with my exact previous answer, that I think even when it's required, it might seem oh no, I need 13 more hours by the end of the semester, and you have to cramp in all this time. Because we were both in the National Junior Honor Society 2 years ago, and we had 50 hours to do, which, I don't know, it was a lot depending on what your perspective was. I didn't think that it was that much, but still I found myself kind of stressing and trying really hard to get the hours in. But even so, like in spite of that, I found myself really genuinely enjoying it. And anytime I would be like driving on the way to an event, I'd be sort of dreading it and like, okay, this is going to be like 5 hours of me just like doing physical labor or something like that. But once you're actually in the heat of it, and then especially when you're leaving and reflecting on it, I think it's so beneficial, because we're just like trapped in these school buildings all day long, and we're taught constantly about like making an impact and helping your community, and like that's the goal. But yeah, we're never really given the opportunity or offered through required means to do things like that. And I think it would be a lot more impactful for the community and just for the experience of people at our age to see what that looks like on a grand scale, rather than waiting until like 10 years from now.
I think sometimes required service is the only way you get volunteers.
Yeah.
Too. Like, I used to be on the swim team, and every time we had a swim meet, a parent of a person that had a kid on the swim team had to volunteer 3 shifts out of Friday. It was like 9 shifts of the total meet, and there were plenty of jobs. Like, no one ever was like, hey, every single job was filled up. We almost always had spaces where I could work like this is like under the line, because I wasn't on the sign up list, but I was there, and there were spots that went unfilled, so I was there to help. So like people at the swim meets, and they were required to sign up, and still some of them couldn't. So I think it almost functions better, but like if you weren't required to sign up to help in a meet, the meet wouldn't function at all. So I think if you're required to volunteer, sometimes that's the only way you get volunteers. And I also think it would be really beneficial for kids who aren't usually going out of their way to join the National Honor Society.
Yeah.
I think it's beneficial sometimes to just, like get out of school and do like
Just do something good.
good for the community. That maybe it's required for you to graduate or something.
Don't we have that?
Well, I think we
don't
do
we
have
like 15 hours?
10 or 15 hours
10
to
or 15.
graduate. I think it is beneficial, because then there are kids who will drag their feet on it, but ultimately sometimes like you're helping make the world a better place. So
Yeah. And I feel like even to like the lowest of the low type of kid, as much as I like hate saying that, but the type of person that would be so least likely to sign up voluntarily for any like volunteer or service opportunity, no one can deny that that makes you feel better as a person and inside. Like even if you pretend it's a joke the whole time and you like mock it or just are really unenthusiastic about it, it's still going to make some sort of subtle impact on you. And I think that's what's important about like the required hours for graduation or even for the optional clubs.
Yeah. Do you think students, and we're focusing on students only in this question, do you think students only inherently want to do service? I'm talking about the student population and the inherent, we kind of touched base on it in that there are very few people in the world who are like, I just want to do this out of the good of my heart. You have to do it because it's required, or you have to do it because it like makes you look better as a person. Like inherently, do you think there are students in our school population or any school population that want to do service?
I think there for sure are, but it comes to the point of aligning your beliefs with your actions. Because I'm sure everyone could sit here. Well, there's only 2 of us. But I'm sure both of us.
Everyone.
Hey guys.
In this empty room.
But we could both say that like we love helping people and love contributing to the community and like providing service to those who need it and don't get the opportunity to have the help that they need. But we're not going every day, even if we have the time and we're just like sitting at home watching Netflix.
Ooh.
We could definitely go do that, and I'm sure all of us genuinely want to, but I don't think I think it's going to be a very small fraction of that demographic who's actually going out and making an effort and aligning their actions with what they think they want to do.
Yeah, and especially like hearing you say that, like as someone who I was like, I like when writing the question, I was like, I inherently want to do service. I don't do things because I think it'll make me look better as a person. I do things because I want to do them. That's why I volunteer at all the swim meets, because nobody else is there and I feel bad. But like at the same time, there are definitely nights when I could be out helping someone. There are like humane societies to volunteer at, or shelters, or like I could go to a senior care facility and
so many places.
like, and I just don't make the time or make the effort to volunteer in the community. And I think that's true. Like I don't know if there's a single person in this world that spends their every spare second doing service.
But that can't be expected at the same time. We all may want to, but also it's difficult to do because like we already know you're such a genuinely good person, and you really do. Like guys, go follow her on Instagram. Because like every day she finds some sort of like obscure advocacy group and she shares it out in like whatever positive thing they're trying to contribute. Clearly she actually wants to, but it's kind of sad, but that's not the norm. Like that's not what everyone's out there doing. And like I might believe in every single organization that she shares, but
Don't tap my posts.
Yeah, but like I don't actually do anything about it or contribute or volunteer.
Yeah.
I mean sometimes, but like not the vast majority.
And like
of
the
time.
amount of and like going into the social, like if you share something on social media, the amount of retweets you get on this, like, you know, like we need to make this happen kind of thing, and then the amount of people, like versus the amount of people that actually go out and help make it happen.
Yeah.
It's not good to look at as a society.
Yeah.
As you're sitting there going like, wow, I got 1,200 retweets. That means people care about what I'm talking about, but how many of those retweets actually went out and did something about it, or followed the link to the web page, or
But also, I think it's important though to give some sort of respect to just the idea of posting about something or retweeting about something, because I feel like we have this idea when we say like community service or volunteer, we think of like physically going and helping to build a house or something like that. But I think that's a really high standard to set for most people who either just don't have the time or the easy access, or they don't have the resources to find those types of organizations. So even just like one retweet, that can share it to someone who's actually going to become an active member of the organization, or they're just going to share it more, so people are going to realize that something was a problem that they never knew was a problem. There's so many things that can fall within the category of service that we don't typically think of, but that shouldn't be overlooked. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so I shouldn't be like down, like all those people that retweeted and didn't go visit the website, you suck. Like I shouldn't say that, because there are people that could just scroll right by it, and I don't really care about human trafficking. I don't really care about net neutrality. But these things, like these are things that I care about, and that's why I use my social media platforms to spread them, because I care about them, and I want to make sure that other people who like care about these things can see, oh, like this person is someone that I can use if I'm trying to like start an organization. I can talk to this person because they'll help me. I want to be that kind of person. I want to be a helper. So I share those kind of things. But even if you do just like my posts on Instagram, you know, at least you care.
Society as a whole, we all see each other and ourselves as inherently good people who, like, everyone wants the world to be a better place, unless you're like a maniac. I don't know. Some people don't, but the vast majority of people do. It's all about like finding your place of service and like how you fit into the equation of coming together for that common goal of making the world a better place.
My last one that I had written down was people as a whole, because we kind of touched base on it. But like students as a population, people as a whole, do you think they inherently want to do service? And I think we kind of already answered yes. We'd like to think that people as a whole want to do service. It's just maybe hard for them to make time to do it.
Like everyone, or I'm going to say most people, because like even Huggable Happiness, like that's not run by adults. But the vast majority, I've said vast majority like 27 times. The large group of people that are like actually creating these organizations and going out and physically stepping up to make a difference, those are all going to be adults and people who have like gone through life, taken probably so many years of not doing anything to contribute, and then eventually deciding to do that. So like right now we might feel really guilty for not going out every day after school, but it's just not realistic for us. So we have to consider that things take time, and so everyone that's like out there, the fact that we have so many organizations like that, I think speaks in a positive light, like on the nature of humanity.
Especially like speaking as a student who's currently and forever overbooked with things that I'm always overbooked, but I'll still manage to squeeze you into my schedule. Kind of.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Mondays, every day, Mondays. That's my block for Generous Imagination filming.
We're not important.
No, we're not. But anyways, it's not realistic for people to make time every single day to go out and serve. I think that's definitely true. As students, we're so concerned, like getting through high school, like completing homework. I mean, some kids aren't, but some kids are concerned about like doing well on the tests and, you know, getting through the week. And we spend, 6 hours a day at high school, and then you go home and or like do whatever you do after school, extracurriculars, that kind of stuff, you still need that hour for yourself. I mean, realistically, you're supposed to get like 8 to 10 hours of sleep.
That's never gonna happen. So basically, there's a fine line of either it's not realistic and like you do what's best for you and you don't have to constantly be changing the world, but also go out and do something. Like for once, if you never do, even like once a month, once a year, once in your life, just for once, be a good person.
Yeah, even if it is that one like rare opportunity that you get to like better the world, and like Gracey said, you don't need to better the world constantly, and it's unrealistic and unfair to expect that you can of yourself. Like as much as most of us hopefully would all like to help make the world a better place. I hope we don't all think it's perfect, because it's not, and it never will be. But if we can take that step towards making it a better place. But it's unrealistic, unfair to place that step on yourself when there's 7 billion people in our world. You can't all force them. Almost 8 billion?
Almost 8 billion.
We're big. We're a big world. Anyways, we hope you liked the video. We like doing the discussion videos.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's less stressful having to memorize things, and then I feel like I can actually like put individual thoughts across.
Yeah. I lied last time and said that we were doing the news episode this time, but it'll definitely be next time. So
will it though?
Yes, it will. We have next video next Wednesday. That'll be the news episode. Sorry for fooling all of you. I totally didn't mean to.
Psych! So overall, just like put in the comments, does this discussion make you feel more like guilty? Because I'm feeling kind of guilty now talking about it. Or like hopeful and inspired? I'd be interested. I don't want to like.
What are your thoughts on
guilt
our
trip
discussion?
everyone.
Yeah. We don't mean to make you feel guilty, because it's not like we're constantly doing community service either.
We're not.
So like as a whole, if you are that one person who is constantly doing community service, please let us know in the comments, because we want to get in touch with you. How do you do it? We want to interview you.
Honestly. Interview segment? This is Gracey
and Izzy
signing off.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.